Mic check, mic check, mic check. What's going on, folks? It's your boy, D'Alonzo Lang. Welcome back, man. I got another smoke session for y'all. Got a lot to talk about today. Still the month of May, so it's Mental Health Awareness Month. So, I told you I'm going to kick off every session talking about some mental health awareness. So that's exactly what I'm about to do. So, a friend was talking to me the other day. They asked me for some advice, and it gave me the inspiration to talk about this prompt. Today, we're going to talk about how do you support a friend, family, or loved one who is struggling with depression or any other mental health ailment. All right? If you got a friend or a loved one who is struggling with depression, you might have wondered, how can you support them? The right support can make a significant impact on a person's well-being. So, from your boy, D'Alonzo Lang, the friendliest of the folks, here's our advice. First thing you should do is educate yourself, right? Educating yourself on mental health, just in the same way that you would educate yourself on physical health. So just coming into a general awareness, of your own mental health, especially as this is becoming presented to you. A lot of people actually come into awareness of mental health because they have a friend, family, or loved one who's dealing with a mental health crisis. So in these situations, if you're dealing with someone who is confided in you that they're dealing with some type of mental health disorder, any type of mood disorder, educate yourself. You're trying to be there to support them, listen to their situation, learn how to empathize and not sympathize. Sympathy is just feeling bad for somebody because their situation is bad. Empathy is putting yourself in their situation and emulating their feelings, seeing why they feel the way they feel. That way you can help. If you do give advice, you're giving it from a place of perspective, right? You've tried to see it from their point of view. And also make sure that you avoid judgments and stigmas, especially within the black community. Y'all know there's a lot of cultural stigma within the black community about going to talk to the lady. Go talk to the lady, man. Sometimes your mental health professional won't even be a lady. It might be a sir. It might be a they, them, The fact of the matter is that there's a mental health care provider for everybody because everybody's mental health is different. Therefore, everyone deserves somebody who is going to look out for their mental health in that regard and take their status first. That's their first priority. How is the patient feeling? How is my client feeling? It's not about how I feel about their identity. It's not about how the world feels about their identity. It's about making sure that they are comfortable with their identity. And that's what you need to encourage your friend and your loved one to do. Be comfortable with their identity. Be comfortable with themselves. And educate yourself on how to become comfortable with yourself. That leads me into my next point. The biggest thing that you can do after educating yourself is encouraging action. The number one thing that I believe helps mental health is accountability. I think that it's hard to take accountability for one's mental health because we're living in a society that doesn't actively push mental health knowledge unless you subscribe to the friendly folks. Shout out to you if you do. That being said, how do people take accountability for something they're not aware of? Right? It's like trying to apologize for something and you haven't really understood what you've done wrong. So with that, you learn that through educating yourself. So as you're educating yourself, encourage your friend to educate themselves. Educate themselves on their condition. What does it mean to be living with their condition? What type of action should I be taking as an individual? Should I be looking for professional help? Should I be looking for a therapist? Should I be looking to get on medication? Do I need to take things a step further? How do I create an action plan for myself? And a lot of times these action plans manifest in the form of self-care, right? Taking care of the essentials. Take care of your body. Take care of your mind. Make sure that you're eating right. Make sure that you're sleeping okay. Try to stay active. The 3 triangles to physical fitness. You want to make sure that you're trying to stimulate your mind. You want to make sure that you're trying to stimulate your emotional connections by ensuring that the social connections you have are beneficial to you. Not in the sense that these relationships have to be transactional, but you're reciprocating what you're putting in. If you're showing this person love, kindness, and affection, you're receiving love, kindness, affection back. Because human beings are social creatures. We need each other. That's why you're watching this right now, because you're interested in helping a friend with depression or any other type of mood disorder. So remember that. Remember that self-care starts internally, but as friends, we can support each other to take those steps that we need to take in order to act out that self-care plan. And don't be afraid to seek out professional help. Like I said, you gotta be free of any judgments and stigmas, whether that's seeing a therapist, whether that's being on medication. Personally, I've been seeing a therapist for the last 5 years, so I'm here to tell you that it's okay. It's okay. It'll actually make you better in the long run, because as you develop this sense of self-awareness, it starts to evolve into a sense of self-mastery. And that's the goal. That's the goal. And also, don't be afraid to utilize community resources. Like I said, it's very difficult to be accountable for your mental health because we don't live in a society where these resources are actively pushed out and where we are actively educated on how to take care of our mental health. However, that's what community resources like this video exist for. Look for local nonprofits in your area that might have some type of mental health resource. Look for mental health coalitions in your area. Look for groups that are just generally focused on advocating for individuals with mental health or mood disorders, and you'll start to see some, free resources. A lot of times, these companies will have resources for the depression and bipolar support lines, for example. They have this thing called a wellness wheel where you can use it to track how you're feeling on a day-to-day basis. It's really dope. So make sure that you're utilizing the stuff that's out there as you're finding it. And the last step that I have for y'all is to trust the process. Trust the process. If you're trying to support a friend, family member, a loved one with depression or any other type of mood disorder, you have to trust the process. And that process that I'm referring to is the healing process. All right? It's not easy. It's a bunch of highs and lows, ups and downs, just like real life. And it can be draining trying to support a friend who's dealing with depression. Because at the end of the day, you have to take care of yourself first. Practice what you preach. You have to make sure that you are able to sustain yourself so that you can be that support system for them. If that means taking some space from them to, just recharge and, practice your own self-care, there's nothing wrong with that. But do what you need to do so that you can stay connected with them through their journey. Support them. Like I said, we have to support ourselves first. That's why accountability is what I think is the key of mental health. Like, that's the biggest, it's the key of health, honestly, as a whole. Physical health, mental health, spiritual health, you have to be accountable for yourself, right? But with mental health, that accountability in yourself allows you to support others so much better because you're able to sustain yourself and you're able to take on some of the stresses that they ask you to take on. And I'm not telling you to sit up here and, try to solve their problems. But there's this thing that comes up a lot with therapists called countertransference. Now, therapists are trained to deal with it. But basically what it refers to, countertransference is the idea that as I'm telling you this heavy shit going on with my life, it's bringing you down because you have to now hear all this heavy shit and you're starting to feel bad for me. That's why you got to separate sympathy from empathy, because you shouldn't just focus on feeling sad because I'm going through a sad situation. You should try to understand why I'm sad and separate that from your own feelings. Understand it. Think about how it would make you feel, but don't pity me. Don't pity others. Don't pity people. If you want to help people who are dealing with depression or any other mood disorders, practice what you preach. Make sure that you're taking care of yourself and share the positivity for them. So, in conclusion, educate yourself, encourage action, and trust the process.